Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic hypersonic.
Positronic hypersonic.
Positronic hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of Doctor Who. It was called Lux, and as it starts, the Doctor attempts to take Belinda home using an indirect route and a device he calls the Vortex Indicator, so as to get past the barrier keeping them from landing on the day Belinda was taken by the robots. The pair landed in Miami in 1952 at the height of segregation, where news that 15 people disappeared in a theater 3 months earlier prompts them both to investigate. Inside the now abandoned theater, they discover that Mr. Ring-a-Ding, a living cartoon made of light accidentally brought to life from a film by a moonbeam that mixed with the light from the projector, is responsible for the disappearances. The Doctor and Belinda soon learned that because of the moonbeam that brought him to life, Mr. Ring-a-Ding was possessed by Lux Imperator, god of light, another member of the pantheon of discord, alongside previous gods that have menaced humanity only to be stopped by the Doctor. Lux traps the Doctor and Belinda in a film reel, subjecting them to false cinematic realities as they try to escape, including one where they're held at gunpoint by a racist police officer, and one where they appear to arrive in the real world and meet fans of the TV show Doctor Who. Despite being created by Lux, the fans are deeply attached to the Doctor and help him and Belinda escape. Lux then tries to steal the Doctor's regeneration energy to create a body for himself that can survive the world outside the theater, but is defeated when the theater's projectionist, whom hasn't left the theater in months because Lux made it possible for him to repeatedly visit his deceased wife by bringing a film version of her to life for him, seeing Lux try to escape, sets a bunch of film reels on fire, causing an explosion that lets sunlight pour into the theater. Exposed to the sunlight while still in his light form, Lux expands infinitely until he dissipates and essentially becomes one with the universe, after which his 15 victims who'd been trapped in a 2D film strip return to three-dimensional form. The Doctor and Belinda then depart in the TARDIS, intent on getting Belinda home, as Mrs. Flood, who's the same age in 1952 as she is in 2025, looks on. And that's where the episode ended. So I really did like this episode. I thought the cinematography was amazing. The setting in 1952 just looked fantastic. I didn't think too much of Belinda in the premiere, but she really grew on me in this episode. She looked fantastic, and I liked the characterization and, what she had to say and how she comported herself. I thought it was great. I continue to love Nshiri Gatwa as the Doctor, of course. I thought that the story itself was very Doctor Who, very classic Doctor Who. You got this weird-ass villain doing funky evil stuff to humanity, and the Doctor has to try to stop him. I thought it was great. The visual effect of Mr. Ring-a-Ding was amazing, and how can you go wrong with Alan Cumming doing the voice? That was fantastic also. I thought that the part where the Doctor met the Doctor Who fans was pretty cool. I got quite a laugh out of that, and I really enjoyed it. So there was a lot to like in the episode. I wasn't entirely thrilled with the part where Mr. Ring-a-Ding tries to steal the Doctor's regeneration energy because, first of all, he took so much of it, and then the Doctor was just fine after that, which I didn't think made sense. And secondly, because of the manner in which he tried to do it, he just trussed the Doctor up against the back wall of the theater and shined the light of the projector through him, which somehow caused his regeneration energy to turn into a beam that shot out of his body and hit Mr. Ring-a-Ding, and I didn't see how that would work. How that would cause that to happen. It didn't make sense. But I don't have any complaints about the episode other than that. I do want to talk briefly about something having to do with Nshiri Gatwa as the Doctor, his version of the Doctor. They've gone and made it more than obvious that the Doctor isn't, shall we say, 100% straight. And myself, I don't have a problem with it at all. In fact, I like the gay Doctor. The things he says are funny. Like in this episode, Belinda says he's Scooby-Doo and he says, "Honey, I'm Velma." And he says a couple of other things that make it obvious that he's, not 100% male gender conforming. And I think it's great. I think it's something that gives his version of the character his own style. So I don't have a problem with it at all. I like that whole thing. The issue is that not everybody is like me, and a lot of people don't like it. And the more they do it, the more it gives them a reason to dump on the show, online and whatnot. And the more reason it gives those people to not tune in. And I worry that that's going to kill the show, especially now that it's on Disney and no longer just a BBC thing. Because, you know, the BBC, as I understand it, isn't concerned with profit motive. It's a public service in the UK. Although they do have a paid app that I suppose makes money. But I don't know. I somehow get the feeling they're not as profit motivated as Disney. So I worry that by doing this, they're going to kill the show. It's not doing well in the ratings from what I read. And I don't like that. And I suppose it isn't really great of me to sound as though I'm saying that they should stop doing the gay stuff in order to cater to anti-gay people, because I don't think that's the way any media creators should proceed. I think that discriminates against gay people just like was done in the past. I just wanted to make a note of it because if, you know, the show ends up being canceled or not produced anymore, it will absolutely be the fault of these people who just can't handle a gay doctor. And I don't know, I just felt like making note of it, you know. I personally love his gay quips and gay moments. So I wish it weren't something that so many people just couldn't handle. Anyway, I thought this was a really great episode. It was great looking. Belinda really came into her own, I think, in this episode. And the cinematography was excellent. Alan Cumming was excellent as Lux or Mr. Ring-a-Ding. The special effects were excellent. And I thought, you know, it was a classic Doctor Who story. Even the parts where they sort of addressed racism, because the Doctor has always been someone who detested various beings in the universe being put upon because they were the wrong color or the wrong species or from the wrong class or what have you. So I think that fits right in with classic Doctor Who. And I should kind of walk back always, maybe not always like from the 60s, but it's been that way for a long time. So yeah, I even like that part, which a lot of folks would say was too woke. Anyway, that's really all I have to say. I'm going to get out of here for now. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.